Hey, Reddit throwaway account for obvious reasons. I honestly don't know where to start, and I feel like I'm losing my mind, but I need to get this out. Maybe just writing it will help me process what the hell is happening. I 34M, have been married to my wife 31F. Let us call her Carla for 5 years. We've been together for 8. We have no kids, thank God. Honestly, a dog and a house. We bought together just under 2 years ago. On the outside, we were that couple. Friends said we looked happy. Coworkers envied our dynamic. Hell, even I thought we were doing okay until 2 weeks ago. The signs were there. I just didn't want to see them. It started small. Carla started coming home later. Said she was working on a new marketing project for her company. Long hours. Late meetings were trying to launch by Q3. Blah blah corporate talk. I believed her. Why wouldn't TICD always been driven? Sometimes intense. But it got weird. She stopped wearing her wedding ring. It's uncomfortable, she said. She changed her passcode. Just updated my phone security. She started going out on weekends with the girls, but when I asked which girls, it was always vague. Oh, you don't know them. Just work friends. She started wearing more makeup, buying new lingerie, but oddly, our sex life completely died. I tried to talk to her about it. Asked if something was wrong. She brushed it off. Snapped at me, even told me I was being paranoid and controlling. She actually had the nerve to say, just because I have a life outside this house doesn't mean I'm cheating. I wasn't even accusing her at that point. Anyway, fast forward to 2 weeks ago, the moment the veil got ripped off. She left her laptop open in the kitchen. I wasn't snooping. I swear. I was just grabbing water and saw a notification pop up. Slack message from a guy named Mikey. It said last night was amazing. Can't stop thinking about you in that red set smiling face with horns fire. I froze. Red set what? Red set, we haven't had sex in weeks, maybe months. I clicked the message. Opened the thread. My hands were literally shaking. She'd been messaging this guy every day. Flirty, suggestive stuff. He sent her shirtless selfies. She sent him mirror pics in her bra. Talked about meeting again at the hotel and how he was better than her husband in every way. I couldn't breathe. I scrolled up. Saw the first message March. This had been going on for months. I took screenshots. Everything. Sent it all to myself. Then I closed the laptop and sat there on the couch, staring into space for what felt like hours. When she got home later that night, I didn't say a word. I watched her walk and kiss the top of the dog-ass head, like everything was normal, and pour herself a glass of wine. She sat down next to me and started talking about how exhausting her presentation was. I couldn't even look at her. She must be sensed something was off because she looked at me and asked what, and all I said was, "Who is Mikey?" She blinked, froze, then went full defense mode. "Why are you going through my stuff? You're invading my privacy." That's abuse. You know, that emotional abuse. She actually tried to flip the entire thing on me. Said I was toxic and controlling, and that Mikey was just a friend from her team who was joking around. I showed her the screenshots. Her face went white. Then she laughed. She laughed and said, "Wow, you really went through my messages like a little detective. How pathetic. I have never felt rage like that in my life." I didn't he yell. I didn't he throw anything. I just stood up and said, "You can sleep in the guest room." And that's where we've been for the last 2 weeks, in the same house, barely speaking. She's acting like I'm the one who broke something. She's cold, dismissive, still going out at night. No remorse, no apology. I'm seeing a lawyer tomorrow. But Reddit, this was just the beginning, because Mikey, he is not the only one. So let me tell you what happened after I found out about Mikey. The next morning I packed a bag. Nothing dramatic, just essentials. I wasn't going to storm out. I wanted to keep the upper hand. I told her flatly, we're done. I've got a lawyer. I'm not playing games. She smirked. Dead serious smirked. Said, you think I'm scared of divorce? Please, you'd be lost without me. Let me repeat that you'd be lost without me. My cheating wife said that out loud to my face. I left for work, my hands literally shaking. I could barely function that day. My boss pulled me aside and asked if I was okay. I told him I was going through a separation. He was super supportive and even told me to take some time off if needed. But that night, I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I kept digging. I had the gut feeling, that sixth sense you get when you just know there is more. So I checked our shared Google Drive years ago. We linked some folders together for bills receipts, vacation plans, that sort of thing. She probably forgot it was still shared. And boom, I found a subfolder labeled Q3 marketing stuff. Seemed boring, except the modified date was last week. Inside photos, videos, screenshots. Some were innocent selfies, random shots of her in the office. But then there was a video taken in a hotel room. She's in it wearing the red lingerie from Mikey's message. Holding the phone, and a man's voice. Not Mikey's laughing in the background. I paused it, sat in silence, then hit play again. His face shows up halfway through the clip. Tall guy, light beard. Definitely not the same guy from the shirtless selfies. And in the next file, a series of messages in a PDF saved, like she was archiving them. I saw the name Nick. So now I'm dealing with another man. That S2. I checked the timestamps. Nick's messages were from January, before Mikey. Which means she wasn't cheating on me once. She was double dipping, or maybe overlapping. I confronted her again. This time I didn't even raise my voice. I just dropped the name, who is Nick. Her reaction, she laughed again. Said, wow. You really can't help yourself. Can you? You must be so bored. Then she walked away. Just walked away like it was nothing. I don't even recognize this woman anymore. This is not the person I married. She used to be kind, thoughtful. She'd leave me notes in my work bag, make my coffee just the way I like it, curl up on the couch with me, and talk about the future. We used to be a team, or at least I thought we were. Now I'm realizing I was in love with a mask. I told my lawyer everything. The next day he advised me to stay calm, gather more proof, and not confront her again. At least not until we file. He suspects she is trying to provoke me into doing something stupid so she can flip the narrative. So I'm biding my time. But Reddit, I'm telling you now, Nick, I sent T the last one either. There is another name I haven't even mentioned yet. And that story, that one nearly broke me. I wish I could say this is the last update, that things couldn't possibly get worse. But well, you've read the title. There is a third man, and this one. Wasn't he just some hookup? He was someone I knew. Let's backtrack a bit after discovering Mikey the first. And then Nick the second. Found via those videos on the shared Google Drive. I thought I had hit the ceiling of betrayal. I truly didn't believe there could be more. But then I remembered something. Months ago, maybe 5 or 6, Carla started talking about going to the gym again. She made a huge deal out of it. Bought new activewear, new shoes, a fancy-ass water bottle, even meal prepped for the first time in forever. Said she was getting serious about her health. Now, at the time, I was happy for her. Encouraged her. I even offered to go with her. She said no. Said she needed solo time, that it was her mental escape. Guess what, Reddit? I got curious. Checked her Apple Health data. We once synced our phones during a vacation and never unsynced. Turns out she'd never gone to the gym during the time she claimed steps were low. Heart rate normal. GPS data had her parked in the same spot every Tuesday and Thursday evening. The address a house. Not a gym. A house. Guess whose house, my friend? Let us call him Travis. We've been known each other for almost 10 years. We used to play softball together. Grab beers. His girlfriend and Carla used to hang out too. Hell, we all went to the lake together last summer. I stared at that address for hours before I believed it. Then I checked my phone photos. Found one from June Carla smiling in a swimsuit, drink in hand with Travis's hand on her lower back. At the time, I thought nothing of it. Thought that's just how close friends are sometimes. What a effing idiot I was. I confronted Travis before I even went to her. I wanted to see his face. I texted him and said I needed help moving something heavy. Played it casual. He came over as soon as he walked in. I said, "How long have you been effing my wife?" He went dead silent. Not defensive. Not angry. Just guilty. Didn't he deny it? Didn't he say a word? Just lowered his head. Then he tried this lame excuse. It just happened, man. She said you two were practically separated. Sound familiar? Because every one of these guys says the same thing. She said it was over. She said you didn't care. She said you were cold. She is running around town painting me as this neglectful, emotionless husband to justify her own selfish, disgusting actions. Travis apologized. Said he regretted it. That it started a few months ago, but didn't he mean anything? I told him to get out. Didn't he scream? Didn't he punch him? I was just done. Then came Carla. I laid it all out. Mikey. Nick. Now Travis. I asked her point blank, was there anyone else? Anyone I don't know about? She looked at me, rolled her eyes. Said, does it matter? You're leaving anyway. No remorse. No shame. Just bitterness. Like I was the one who betrayed her. I asked her why not for closure. I already knew this was unfixable, but just out of pure human curiosity. You know what she said? Because I was bored. Because you were always so predictable. I wanted passion. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to scream. To break something. But instead, I nodded and walked away. Let her sit with it. Let her rot in that silence. So now we're here. 3 men. 3 betrayals. A marriage turned into a effing landfill of lies. The paperwork is being finalized. The house will be sold. My lawyer is pushing for a strong case of infidelity and emotional abuse. We'll see what the judge thinks. But me, I'm not broken. Not anymore. I cried. I shook. I questioned everything. But now I'm just free. Still, I have more to say. Back again. I didn't think this part would be as satisfying as it turned out to be. But when I finally told her family the truth, it was like setting fire to the web of lies she'd been spinning for years. So let us get into it after finding out about Travis, my so-called friend, and realizing there were at least 3 men she was cheating with. I knew I had to tell her parents, not out of pettiness, not to ruin her life, but because they deserved to know the truth. See, her family and I used to be close. Her mom would call me her favorite son-in-law, even though I was her only son-in-law. Her dad and I used to go fishing. Holidays, birthdays, family dinners I was in. Wasn't he just a son-in-law? I was family. So I called her mom and said I needed to talk in person. She invited me over. I showed up with a folder, literal receipts, screenshots, photos, email logs. I wasn't going in blind. Her dad was there too. I could tell by the look on their faces that they knew something was off. Her mom actually said, "We've been worried about her lately. She has been different." I told them everything calmly. Clearly, I laid it all out. The affairs with Mikey and Nick. The videos she recorded in hotel rooms while still wearing my ring. The late nights at the gym that were actually visits to Travis's house, a guy they knew hosted, laughed with. Her mom's face went pale, like physically drained of blood. Her dad didn't say a word, just stared at the floor with his jaw clenched. I showed them the photos. I didn't want to, but I had to. They needed to see it. The lingerie, the texts, the flirty selfies she sent to these random guys like it was normal. Then I dropped the kicker. She told each of them we were basically separated, that I didn't even love her, that I was cold. Her mom started crying, actual sobbing. Her dad finally spoke. He said that that's not who we raised. That's not who we thought she was. Didn't he say I told you so? Didn't he gloat? I just said I thought so too. They apologized over and over. I told them they had nothing to apologize for. She is the one who wrecked everything. But I could see it crushed them. Their perfect daughter, the golden child, had built her life on lies. They were grieving to not just the end of our marriage, but the illusion of who their daughter really was. Later that night, she found out told them she lost it. She stormed into the house screaming, "You had no right to tell them." I just stared at her. Said they're your parents. They deserve the truth. I won't be your cover anymore. She called me vindictive. Said I was trying to destroy her reputation. I said you did that all by yourself. Then she threatened to ruin me. Told me she'd take half of everything. Make up stories if she had to. Said she'd tell people I was abusive, emotionally manipulative, and controlling. I hit record on my phone and said, "Say that again." She went silent. She is getting sloppy now. Desperate. Because the web she built is falling apart, and everyone is seeing it. Her parents want to speak to her. I know because her sister texted me. She blew up at Mom and Dad. said they betrayed her, screamed at Mom for crying. I don't know who she is anymore. Reddit, I'm telling you, this isn't just betrayal. It's a total identity collapse. I married someone who wore a perfect mask for years, who played the role of doting wife, sweet daughter, responsible adult, while secretly destroying everything behind the scenes. But now the mask is off, the lies are out. And she is standing in the wreckage alone. And me, I've never felt clearer. And no, I wasn't exaggerating when I said there was one more twist. Because just when I thought I knew the full scope of what Carla had done, all the cheating, the lies, the manipulation, the universe decided to pull one final card from her deck of bulls. Teeth. And this one broke me differently. So after I told her family, she completely unraveled. She stopped pretending. No more fake smiles, no more trying to play the victim. She started staying out all night, not even lying about it anymore. She just wouldn't come home, or she'd show up at 3 a.m., smelling like tequila and someone else's cologne. I stopped asking. I stopped reacting. I'd already mentally left the relationship. My body was still in the house, but my soul was gone. My lawyer and I were putting together the final papers. The house was about to be listed. I was lining up apartments quietly, carefully. That's when I got a message from an unknown number. Just 3 words you should know. I stared at it for a minute. Then another message came in. It was a screenshot. A WhatsApp conversation between Carla and a man whose name I didn't recognize. Let's call him Reese. But this time, she wasn't flirting. She wasn't sexting. She was talking about me, mocking me, planning something. She said he has no clue what's coming. I'm going to take half his stuff and make him wish he never met me. And then, Reese, babe, just wait when I get the payout. We'll be set. I'll say he was emotionally abusive easy. He is too passive to fight it. I felt nauseous reading it. This wasn't he just cheating. This was premeditated financial abuse. This was calculated sabotage. And this Reese guy, apparently one of her newer flings, she'd been dating him behind the other guys' backs too. She was cheating on the guys she cheated with. You cannot make this saint up. The anonymous sender turned out to be Reese SX. She found the messages on his backup files and tracked me down because, and I quote, I thought you deserved to know what she was really doing. This woman, a stranger, had more decency than my own wife. So I did the only thing I could do. I copied everything. Screenshots, backups, time stamps. Sent it to my lawyer. He nearly spit out his coffee. He said we now had grounds for punitive damages, intentional emotional distress, planned financial exploitation, and if it escalates, even fraud. But I didn't tell Carla right away. I played it cool. Let her keep thinking she was in control. She strutted around the house like she already owned everything, bragging on the phone about her freedom, leaving job applications for out-of-state marketing firms open on her laptop, planning her exit like this was her big power move. She had no idea I was already gone. Yesterday, I signed a lease on my new apartment. Today, I boxed up my essentials, while she was out with one of her gym friends. Tomorrow, I file the final papers and serve her with everything. All of it the cheating, the manipulation, the messages, the plan to financially bleed me dry. I have the high ground now legally, emotionally, morally. She burned the bridge. I just made sure she can't walk back across it. You ever watch a movie where the villain spends the whole time gloating, manipulating, thinking they're 5 steps ahead, and then at the end, they realize the hero knew everything all along yet? That was yesterday. Carla finally got served, and it was glorious. Let me walk you through it. The night before, I moved everything out. Took only what was legally mine. Left her the couch she insisted on buying, even though I paid half. Didn't he leave a note? No dramatic Dear John letter. Just emptiness. The next morning, while she was out at brunch, which I now know is code for getting railed by some guy she met on Instagram, my lawyer had the paperwork delivered to her at home. I wish I could seen her face when she walked in and found 2 things: an empty closet, a thick envelope labeled divorce proceedings. You've been served. And yes, included were the screenshots of her conversations with Mikey, Nick, Travis, and Reese with timestamps, plus a copy of her little plan to take me for everything. The cherry on top of formal notice that her lies and manipulations had opened the door to counterclaims for intentional emotional distress and attempted fraud. Now here's where it gets wild. I get a text. Not a call. A text. All it says is "you're a effing snake." Not "I'm sorry." Not "can we talk." Not even "I didn't teen" for it to go this far. Nope. Just straight rage. Then she blows up my phone. 10 missed calls in 5 minutes. Voicemails flipping between sobbing and screaming. I didn't answer a single one. But you know who did her dad. Turns out she immediately ran crying to her parents. Said I ambushed her and abandoned her. Claimed I was being cruel and twisting everything to make her look bad. But this time her parents didn't back her. Her dad, the man who once grilled me for not proposing sooner, called me directly and said, "I'm sorry, son." I had no idea it had gotten this bad. She needs help. The VE cut her off financially. Told her she wasn't welcome to stay with them. Even her own sister texted me. "You did what you had to do. I'm proud of you." So what is Carla doing now? She is spiraling. Posting cryptic Instagram stories like some people pretend to be victims, but are really monsters. I gave everything and got stabbed in the back. It's always the quiet ones. She is trying to control the narrative as if I destroyed her life. She is reaching out to friends, spinning lies about how I emotionally abandoned her for years, how I set her up, how I invaded her privacy. But guess what? Every time she opens her mouth, someone else sends me proof. Because people are waking up. They're not buying it anymore. And me, I'm finally breathing. The new apartment is small, but it's mine. It's peaceful. There is no walking on eggshells. No second guessing every glance, every word, every minute. She's late, I sleep through the night now. That used to feel impossible. And for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to feel whole again. I didn't think I'd be writing this part. Honestly, after serving her and watching her spiral, I figured that was it. Done. Nothing left to say, but of course. Carla had other plans. A few days after she got served and the dust settled, I got a message, not angry, not manipulative, at least not obviously. Just 5 words, "Can we talk just once?" My first instinct, hell no. But I'll be honest, curiosity is a dangerous thing. Closure is even more dangerous. So against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a neutral spot, a small quiet park near where we used to walk the dog. Public. Safe. No distractions. She looked different. Tired. Hair tied up, no makeup. Oversized hoodie. Not the smugly. Confident version of her ID, seen in recent months. This was the girl I used to know, or at least the girl I thought I knew. We sat in silence for a while. Then she said, "I know you hate me." I deserve that, but I just wanted to explain. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She didn't really take accountability either. It was a weird mix of regret and deflection. She said things like I felt like I lost myself. You were always stable, but I was restless. I didn't know how to ask for more, so I looked for it somewhere else. I never meant to hurt you. That last one almost made me laugh. Never meant to hurt me. You cheated with 4 different people. You plotted to financially bleed me dry. You gaslit me every time I asked a question. That's not accidental pain. That is surgical cruelty. I asked her one question. Did you ever love me at any point? Did it mean something to you? She didn't answer right away. Just stared ahead, picking at the sleeve of her hoodie. Finally, she said, "I think I did. But I don't know if I loved you the way you loved me." And that hurt more than I expected it to, because it was probably the only honest thing she said in months. She asked if I could ever forgive her, not to get back together, but just so she wouldn't feel like the worst person alive. I told her the truth. Forgiveness. I sent tea for you. It's for me. And I'm working on it, but it's not going to happen today. Then I stood up, said goodbye, and walked away without looking back. That was the last time we spoke. She has been quiet since. No more voicemails. No more victim posts. I heard from a friend that she moved out of town, left her job. Her entire world collapsed. And maybe that's what it took for her to finally look in the mirror. But read it. I'm not here to track her redemption arc. That's not my story anymore. I'm building my own. It's been a long, brutal road, but this is the final part of the story. I've been through hell. I watched my marriage collapse. Found out the woman I loved was cheating with multiple men. Got lied to, manipulated, humiliated, and yet I'm still standing. Actually, scratch that. I'm finally standing. It's been a few months since that last conversation in the park. Since then, my life has changed in ways I never thought possible. I moved into a small but beautiful apartment. It's quiet, clean, no tension in the walls. No wondering who was texting her. No sudden outbursts or cold stares, just peace. I got rid of things that reminded me of her. Sold the couch she picked. Tossed the wedding album. Deleted every photo of us. Not out of bitterness, but because I don't want to archive a lie. Therapy helped. I started seeing someone weekly. At first, I felt ashamed, embarrassed. Like, how did I let this happen to me? But my therapist said something that stuck with me. You didn't fail? You believe that's not weakness. That's love. You just gave it to the wrong person. That hit hard. I reconnected with friends. Turns out, I wasn't as alone as she made me feel. People had seen the red flags, but didn't know how to tell me. When I finally opened up, they rallied around me. I had more support than I thought. Way more. I started doing things for me. Hiking, boxing, cooking actual meals instead of microwaving sadness. I even started a side hustle doing design work, something she always called a waste of time. And guess what? It's working. I still have bad days. Days where the betrayal creeps back in like smoke through a crack in the door. But now I have the tools to air it out. I don't sit in it. I don't live in it. I survived betrayal. I survived gaslighting. I survived being made to feel like I was crazy for simply asking, "Are you being honest with me?" And now I trust myself again. I'm learning to love my own company. I look in the mirror and I see someone I respect again. So for anyone reading this who is going through it, who has been cheated on, lied to, made to feel like you're the problem, let me tell you this: you are not weak. You are not crazy. You are not unlovable. You were real. They weren't. And one day, you're going to look back just like I am right now and realize that their betrayal was your beginning, not your end. Thanks, Reddit. You helped me more than you'll ever know. Stay strong. And if you're ever wondering whether you'll make it through the wreckage, you will just take one honest breath at a time.